Hello everybody, how's it going? Christian from Treasure Town here, and today we're going to be going over the top 9 most valuable Franklin half dollars, talking about some of the errors, varieties, and dates to look for. If there are any, Franklin half dollars are known for not having too many rare dates. It's easy to make a full set of them, but there definitely are some cool errors that you might want to be on the lookout for. Number 9 is the 1957D Repunched mint mark, and the D obviously stands for Denver. It's going to be above the bell, and you can see that the D is slightly rotated over here. This is a little bit rotated counterclockwise compared to the original Denver mint mark, and this coin in EF40 is probably going to be worth about $20. MS60 values is about $35. MS65 kicks up to $80, and MS66 is about a $115 coin. So it's a little bit more than the premiums for a regular one, but it's not going to be too much over that mark. Number 8, we have the 1953S Repunched mint mark, and this one is a little bit easier to see. Just to mention, S is the San Francisco mint, but you can see in this super close-up photo that the S has also been rotated, this time a little bit clockwise. You can see how it protrudes along different parts of the S here. And this coin is going to be worth a little bit more as well, $22 in EF40, $36 in MS60, and then it kicks up a fair amount to $175 in MS65 and $800 in MS66. So that's a pretty significant figure in terms of the added value. Number 7 is our first double die reverse, and this one's pretty easy to see. It's going to be found on the 1948D coins, one of the earliest year in the series. And the spread is found throughout the back, but it's especially easy to detect in the E pluribus unum and then the dots. So you can see here in the N, there's a little bit of a spread, a little bit in the R, a bit also in the P, especially on that lip of the P there, and then in the E it's noticeable, and you can see it's more of a northwest spread here. Then also in the dots you can kind of make it out to be right there. And for the values on this one, it's going to be about $25 in EF40, $35 in MS60, $175 in MS65, which is up from about $100 for a regular specimen, and then $1,050 in MS66. There's a lot of big price jumps at the upper ends of these grades, especially if they have a designation that we'll cover later. But the bottom line is that it's a cool, valuable coin, but it's not so valuable that you can't own one yourself if you're looking to pick up some error coins. Number 6, we have the 1959 Philadelphia double die reverse, and this coin is a little bit more of a distinguishable spread. You can see here in the U, also in the U over here, and then especially in the M down here, and then you also look over here in the eagle, and you can see a little bit of doubling in the feathering. Now this also has similar values to what we've been talking about before, about $25 in EF40, $50 in MS60, $120 in MS65, and then yet again a huge price jump to $1,100 in MS66. So it's one to take a look out for. It's fun to detect things, cherry pick them. So if you have a bunch of Franklin half dollars, you might want to take them out and make sure that none of these double dies or repunchment marks are on them. Number 5, we have the 1948 double die reverse, and this one is pretty cool because most of the time you're really looking in the E pluribus unum, which is again another place to look for it here, but in the 1948 you can also detect the doubling along the United States. So not only in that E pluribus unum centrally located writing, you see here there's a slight leftward and rightward spread, and then same over here, except there is a little bit of northern movement with the second, and you see the P is clearly doubled, and then you can also look in the dots if you have a magnifier. So that is a pretty cool variety. This one's going to be in the range of about $25 for EF40, $50 for MS60, and $200 up from $80 MS65. and it'll go to about 550 in MS66. Since this was the first year that it was made, there were a fair amount that were saved in the higher condition, whereas that often doesn't happen later down the road when people kind of forget to keep saving them. So that's why the highest end isn't quite as valuable. Now, with that being said, we have number 4, the 1951 S double die reverse, and this is a very, very cool coin. I really like that. It's our first double die, I believe, from the San Francisco Mint, and this one's pretty standard, though you can see it in the dot. You can also take a look in the lettering in E Pluribus Unum. That's where you're going to be able to find this one, and the coin is worth about $25 in EF40. 55 is the number in MS60, so it's a little bit higher than normal. Then $275 as compared with 70 in MS65 for hitting 900 in MS66. Now what happens is often the values catch up at MS66, but at MS65 there will be a noticeable difference in terms of the value. And again, if you have a little magnifier, it'll be pretty easy to detect if you have it based on the spread in the E Pluribus Unum. Number 3, we have a repunched mint mark on the S Mint, and this one is a little bit easier to detect in terms of being in circulated grades. As you can see here, both of these examples are circulated. Now the S Mint mark is going to be punched northern of the original, so you can see that there is a little bit of a spread here, definitely that lip at the right lower part of the S, and then also over here. This is even a little more circulated, but you could just see that it's protruding. That's not what a normal S Mint mark looks like. And this coin is worth about $30 in EF40, $75 in MS60, $270 in MS65 when compared with $150, and then $575 in MS66. So though it's not a super high value for a number 3 coin, it is still something that's doable, and you can find it if you look at a lot of these, I'm sure. So that's the 1949 S repunched mint mark. Coming in at number 2 is the full bell lines Franklin half dollars. Now, I couldn't do a full bell lines for every date because that would be way more valuable than these errors, but it's a designation that's really important to look for when you're cherry picking these half dollars, Franklin half dollars. Now, the full bell lines, basically there were a lot of weak strikes on the Franklin half dollars, and these make it evident that it was a stronger strike. So as you can see here, these bell lines go fully throughout the bell. You can see also down here in the lower part, it has the crack. Everything's eloquently struck and really nice looking. It's presenting itself well. And on some coins, the full bell lines will give it a bump of a small amount, but on others it can be the difference between several or tens of thousands of dollars. So the full bell line is obviously something that you want to train yourself in having a good eye and look out for. It's difficult even for experienced people. One misplaced bag mark or something like that can remove a full bell line designation, and that's why there's a fair amount of demand for ones that do have the bell lines intact completely. I don't have any values, and some of them will be higher than our number 1 coin, but the number 1 coin I did want to have not be a full bell line coin, and it's a really interesting one that I'm looking forward to showing you. But that's basically a summary of these. There are probably some other videos. I don't have a specific one on the full bell lines, but the bottom line is that you do want to look for them on these coins. And number 1, we have the 1961 proof double die reverse. I generally try not to do too much with proof coins, but this is so notable. It's actually the cover of the Cherry Picker guide. It is a really crazy doubling, and there are only a few of them out there. They're very high demand, and most of the doubling on these Franklin half dollars is pretty small, while this is extremely dramatic. You can see in almost all of the lettering. You see a super strong spread in United States here, visible to the naked eye. Definitely E Pluribus Unum is completely doubled, as well as you can see the P and U and R really overlapping. And then even in half dollar, there's some notable spreads. If you take a look at the serifs, there's a lot of separation. So this is a really cool coin. In MS65 or Proof 65, it is worth about $3,000, and then if you can get it in a 66, then it kicks up to $7,500, which is a really high number, and something that I hope that one of you guys can find. be great to get a couple more in the market and great for whoever finds them. So take a careful look at these 1961 proof half dollars. It's a pretty rare occurrence that one of these is found, but you never know. I'd wager that there are some of them out there undetected. So that being said, I hope that you enjoyed learning about these 9 different Franklin half dollars, whether it's a great strike, a Repunched mint mark double die, or something else. I wish you the best of luck in finding them yourself. Thanks for watching the video. If you haven't already, I'd encourage you to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay in contact with me on my Instagram, TreasureTownYT, Facebook, TreasureTown, or my website, TreasureTownYT.com. And I love receiving packages from you guys. I'll unbox them in a video once I get enough, and my address for that is TreasureTown, P.O. Box 201, Greenwich, Connecticut, 06836. So I'll see you on some of my other videos.